Way, golly, it's almost noon, isn't it? So I'll put it in your hands. You know, we can either stay late or we can leave early. What's it going to be? Who wants early? Early over there. Who wants late over here? Okay. All right, well, I'll try to make it work, but you're not going to get the best bit. Okay, what can I say? However, you didn't get a second hymn because we're trying to save time. Can you on the other hand, I feel like we ought to do something. Marilyn, I don't know, can you give me a C major chord here to help me out? Just throw me a C major chord. I really don't care. Just something, I locate something. I'm going to teach you all something. Where's the G? That's it. Okay. Take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd, buy me, you know this, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back, so it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. So it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. 7th inning stretch. You feel better? Of course, my trouble was I learned to sing it badly the first time. I said, take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back, so it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. So it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Oh, well. Saw the Sunday paper today. I came a little late, so I trundled out there, hoping not to get seen in my skivvies, and picked up the paper, and there I'm reading some lamentable story about how our sitting governor is behind the 8 ball because the challenger is out there advertising like crazy. Now, in all honesty, I can't comment on the particulars here. It's both unwise and illegal. But I should point out that the issue that's in the front of our attention now is the economy. West Michigan's economy, the state's economy, the nation's economy, gasoline prices, and at least the challenger is telling us that that's the issue that's most important and that that person is better equipped to do things in the fall. Well, I have a problem not with the word or the concept of economy. I think it's being talked about in too narrow a sense of the word, and that's my subject today. Now, for those who have not been around the last 2 times I've preached, I've been doing sermons on social ministry, what it is that we do that's designed to get outside of us and out into the community. And I've lifted up 2 different places where I think we have principles at stake and pointed to 2 different ways in which we can act on those principles. Because in my mind, social ministry is the mission of any religious body. If you're not doing for others, you're doing yourself in. But what do you do? And you should do those things that really come out of your basic values. Those with whom we sometimes disagree, liberals, we, and conservatives, they, have to acknowledge that the conservatives seem to nail their own principles pretty hard, pretty much all the time. But as I like to point out, that a liberal is someone who can't even take his own side in an argument. We're a little less competent at nailing our own principles. You know, we always want to see the other side, as it were. So I've been trying to name a few of them and what we can do in response. One of them has to do with the diversity stakes that the Fountain Club is putting together. You've seen them being made up. My point a few weeks ago was that almost uniquely here in West Michigan, and still in a minority in the country, we can affirm unequivocally and without any anxiety the full equal status of gay and lesbian folk in this society, while others do not. In fact, they would like their religious point of view to become public policy, and I'm saying as a person of faith, I find that unacceptable, and so do you. So should you. So should this church. So we need to be institutionally a little more affirmative of that point of view. That's advocacy by an institution on the basis of a principle. Where those 3 things come together, a principle, an activity, advocacy, and a need, you have great social ministry. The last time I spoke, I mentioned public education, something in crisis almost everywhere, but including here, and that a principle of ours that's at stake is our belief that knowledge is a powerful thing. It is what leads us to a fuller life, a fuller spiritual life, and that we need this as religious people, but we also believe in it for everyone. That, as the scripture says, and as the title of my sermon, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And what does liberal mean? But to liberate, but to free up, and that knowledge is a key way to do that. So if we believe that, and children in our city and in other cities are not getting what they need to be free, to be full citizens, because they're not getting the education they deserve and they need, that we need them to have, we need to be part of addressing that need by getting into the schools one-on-one, by adopting a school if we want as an institution, by funding a scholarship or two to college to show people we care about our own children in this town. So, a principle, education or learning, a methodology, direct engagement, action, service, a need, the needs of children in this city combined to make great social ministry. So what am I talking about today? I'm talking about economics. How could anything be more dreary? Isn't it called the dismal science? More peculiar, more contentious. One of my favorite jokes is about the three professionals. I've told you this before, so you can nod off for a minute or so. About the architect and the surgeon and the economist having drinks at one of those clubs like the one I belong to down the street. And they're having an argument. Which profession is the oldest? And the surgeon says, no question, it's me. And the other two guys say, why? He says, well, it says right there in Genesis, and God took a rib out of Adam, made a woman, surgery. And the architect says, oh, please, you are so late. Right there at the beginning, and it says, and God made the firmaments and called the land into one place. Sounds like landscape design and architecture to me. And the economist, putting down his drink, says, you guys are such pikers. The very first verse, it says, the earth was without form and void, and all was chaos. Economics. There you go. So having admitted that economics is a murky field at best, we keep using it in the public, the economy this, and the economy that. And as I said, the challenger wants us to think about the economy, and what I think he means, what I think he intends, is to talk about jobs and business and a climate that's conducive to more business. And his answer is, as one side of this argument usually is, reduce regulations, reduce taxes, and then things will come swimming in the fertile ferment of freedom. Another point of view is that we need to sustain the working people, make sure they have a job worth having. They need to have a better minimum wage, better health care, more education, more training, a better workforce. That will. And the two of them think that they're at loggerheads, and maybe they are, but I don't think either one of them really gets the word economy at all. Your linguistic lesson of the day has arrived. Economy is a coinage from the 19th century, from two Greek words, oikos, O-I-K-O-S, if you want to go spell it, which means house, and nomos, which means law, so law of the house. It was meant to describe an emerging science or study of the means by which societies create and distribute wealth and goods, heretofore undescribed in detail except in the 18th century by Adam Smith in his Wealth of Nations, the earliest attempt to describe the business life of the society. At any rate, this is important because I go to my house and there's more than money there. I find food in the pantry and laundry in the bin, and I find papers to be read and homework for my son to be done and bills to be paid and books to be read. And in the middle of this, I'm living my life. And it occurs to me that the law of my house is not completely dominated by what I'm writing